Did you ever thought about something could go wrong and that you could one day lose everything?
I mean, there's been many times where I expected to lose everything, I mean, who starts a car company and a rocket company expecting them to succeed? Surely not me. I thought they both had less than a 10% chance of success.
Quitting is not even like...
It's not in my nature. And I don't care about optimism or pessimism that we're going to get it done. It's simply this is something that is important to get done, and we should just keep doing it or die trying. And I don't need a source of strength. So when people tell me, like, well, what can you do to encourage entrepreneurs to start companies? I'm like, if you need encouragement, don't start a company. Just work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in, 80 to 100 hour weeks every week. So all those things improve the odds of success. So when I interview somebody, my interview question is always the same. I said, tell me the story of your life. And the decisions that you made along the way, and also tell me about some of the most difficult problems you worked on and how you solved them. And that question I think is very important, because the people that really solved the problem, they know exactly how they solved it. They know the little details. And the people that pretended to solve the problem, they can maybe go one level and then they get stuck. When I was a kid, I was wondering kind of what's the meaning of life? Like, why are we here? What's it all about? The more that we can increase the scope and scale of human consciousness, the better we're able to ask these questions. I think being a multi-planet species and being out there among the stars is important for the long-term survival of humanity. And if you consider two futures, one where we are forever confined to Earth until eventually something terrible happens, or another future where we are out there on many planets, maybe even going beyond the solar system. So many people try to talk me out of starting a rocket company. It was crazy.
What did they tell you?
One good friend of mine collected a whole series of videos of rockets blowing up, and maybe watch those. He just didn't want me to lose all my money. One of the biggest mistakes people generally make, and I'm guilty of it too, is wishful thinking. Like you want something to be true, even if it isn't true. And so you ignore the things that, you ignore the real truth because of what you want to be true. This is a very difficult trap to avoid. And like I said, certainly one that I find myself in having problems with. But if you just take that approach of you're always to some degree wrong and your goal is to be less wrong. So a challenge for entrepreneurs is to say, well, what's the difference between really believing in your ideals and sticking to them versus pursuing some unrealistic dream that doesn't actually have merit? And that is a really difficult thing to tell you. Can you tell the difference between those two things?
Right.
So you need to be sort of very rigorous in your self-analysis. I read a quote from Arthur C. Clarke, which said that a sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, and that's really true. If you go back, say 300 years, the things that we take for granted today would be burned at the stake for. Being able to fly, being able to see over long distances, being able to communicate, and having access to all the world's information instantly from almost anywhere on the earth. This is stuff that really would be magic, be considered magic in times past. In fact, I think it actually goes beyond that, because there are many things that we take for granted today that weren't even imagined in times past. They weren't even in the realm of magic. So it actually goes beyond that. So I thought, well, if I can do some of those things, basically if I can advance technology, then that's like magic. And I think about what technology solution is necessary in order to achieve the particular goal, and then try to make as much progress in that direction as possible. How many things can you buy that you really love, that really give you joy? So rare, so rare. I wish there were more things. That's what we're trying to do. Just make things that somebody loves. I think that second version is incredibly exciting and inspiring, and there need to be reasons to get up in the morning. Life can't just be about solving problems. Otherwise, what's the point? There's got to be things that people find inspiring and make life worth living. The universe as we know it will dissipate into a fine mist of cold nothingness eventually. I don't want to sound like things are too dark, because I think you kind of have to be optimistic about the future. There's no point in being pessimistic. It's just too negative. It doesn't help, I think you want to be... my theory is I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right. What are the set of things that can be done to make the future better? I think that a future where we are a spacefaring civilization and out there among the stars, this is very exciting. This makes me look forward to the future. This makes me want that future. There need to be things that make you look forward to waking up in the morning. Wake up in the morning, you look forward to the day, forward to the future. A future where we are a spacefaring civilization and out there among the stars, I think that's very exciting. That is a thing we want. Whereas if we knew we would not be a spacefaring civilization but forever confined to Earth, this would not be a good future. That would be very sad. If there are two futures, and one future is we're out there among the stars, then the things we read about and see in science fiction movies, the good ones, are true. We have these starships, and we're going to see what the other planets are like. We're a multi-planet species, and the scope and scale of consciousness is expanded across many civilizations and many planets and many star systems. This is a great future. This is a wonderful thing, really, and that's what we should strive for.
So many young people actually from across the globe. If you have an advice to them, young people globally want to be like Elon Musk, what's your advice to them?
Try to be useful. You do things that are useful to your fellow human beings, the world. It's very hard to be useful. Very hard. Are you contributing more than you consume? Try to have a positive net contribution to society. I think that's the thing to aim for. Not to try to be sort of a leader for the sake of being a leader or whatever. A lot of times, the people you want as leaders are the people who don't want to be leaders. You guys are the magicians of the 21st century. Don't let anything hold you back. Imagination is the limit. Value of beauty and inspiration is very much underrated, no question. But I'm not trying to be anyone's savior. That is not I'm just trying to think about the future and not be sad.